So to begin with, I wanted to say a little bit about my poem. It's called My Anchor, and to start with, it's quite metaphorical, and it's to represent the feelings and experiences we experience in this life, and that without our mothers, we wouldn't be able to get through this life. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let me put it this way. I was lost at sea in a storm. The weather had taken its toll. A complete reform. As the rain descended, as if the grey clouds had even warned me from the start. No, nothing, everything started to fall apart. I could see a few timber planks in the boat starting to bulge like the common carotid arteries in my neck. I knew that rush of blood in me meant the fight or flight response was in check. I wanted to run, but where would I go? Even the lack of stability in the weather now thundered at me, appearing not to know. As the boat rocked zealously, I slid from one side of the boat to the other, as my tears followed like a child chasing its mother, as if my cheeks had become hydrophilic. As if the nightmare I was in necessitated tears. As if this was all not enough, I was then ambushed by a tide, carrying along with it the sea bass, who now joined me on this never-ending ride, whose skin reflected the colour of mine, pale and dry. Like when you're about to get a blood test and you know it's time. The rocking had now become shuddering, and the shuddering became palpitations. An influx of responses now emerged. Hydration, frustration, devastation, all directing me towards recitation. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. La ta'khudahu sinatun wa la nawm. As I muttered these words under my breath, the boat came to a halt as I heard an instant bang, a type of vibration. As I gathered the energy and strength to stand on my feet and tilt my head over the side of the ship I call life, I realized that sound was the sound of my phone's vibration, receiving 21 missed calls from my mother, like an overly occurring occurrence of a letter in a sentence referred to as alliteration. Only to call and say, "Mama, where are you? You said you would be here 8:01, now it's 8:02. It was the vibration of her bare, ice-cold skin, shivering against the warmth of mine. As she hands over the warm, woolly fleece to me and says, "Really, I'm fine." It was the vibration in her voice as she wishes me luck before my exam and blesses me with her supplication. The supplications which provide me with the support and strength to excel in my examinations. Because I assure you, when the Prophet says, heaven is under the feet of your mother, or your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father, it is no exaggeration. No exaggeration when she tells you not to incessantly use your phone on the street, or when she tells you not to speak to just anyone you meet. When the world shuts you out and even the wind sighs with frustration, rest assured she means it when she says she will be there with no hesitation. Rest assured the moon is envious of the glow in your mother's eyes. When she finally sees you in your graduation gown, she sees you rise to the level and standard she could never attain. But it all stops mattering when she sees her child's substantial gain. Her sadness and pain all just goes away. Her fingers, as short as the time it took me to fall in love with such a beautiful blessing, slide against my cheeks to wipe away my tears to teach me a lesson. As she says, there are many more fish in the sea. He doesn't deserve you. Ya Mama, one who is deserving of you is one who looks up to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He who treated Sayeda Fatima as nothing less than a queen. Her hands, as small as the circle of friends I have, who I have because she raised me to surround myself with people who allow me to progress, graciously tap me to wake me up for Salat al-Fajr, as she reminds me that Salat is success. Her bones, stable and strong enough despite the disc in her back. Tough enough to be my armor against the crashing waves of this life, against any area where it's experience I lack. The delicate sound of her voice as she reminds me to take my meds, or when she abruptly tells me, come on, off to bed, as her eyes negotiate the weight of her eyelids. She somehow finds the dedication to read me a story. But this one story, it was like nothing I've heard. She began with, once upon a time, there were some very bad guys who did some very bad things in a kingdom, and Medina was its name. These bad people would do anything to ensure their reign. The fact that they did not know that such a lady was born to lead was as if they did not know that to plant a kingdom, you need a worthy seed. They stormed towards the door and demanded from this lady and Imam Ali that allegiance be made. Till now, a man becomes blinded by the illusion of political power, which evidentially exists till this hour. They intended to light the house on fire. When told that the daughter of the Prophet was in the house, he said, what if? As they would not give what they required. They raided the house. Meanwhile, Fatima was trapped behind the door, as her fragile body descended to the floor. Tragically, the mother of her father lost Muhsin, her son. Although to her father she cared for, to Muhsin she could no longer be a mum. Fatima teaches us to spout the truth even if you are alone and in pain. Ali teaches us not to fear the path of righteousness due to the lack of bypasses in that lane. Fatima's persistence meant she could pass down what her father had maintained, that your mother is your sustenance, your happiness when you are pained. That in a world where you could drown in your love for the dunya, she'll anchor you back up and make sure the akhirah is your aim. That my mother is my anchor. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.